just a really big fan of how FPX have hidden their cards so far. And that flexibility now could give them the edge in who they are sending into the Aurora.
About what that gold looks like and what does this translate to for teams looking at those neutral objectives to begin with. So frequently we see Robson, but I think that through this early stage of the game, it's going to be about swap out these lanes now for FPX to get that early game advantage in the neutrals.
Sure thing. And Care might be in trouble trying to crash this wave, but Doinby's now going to set up a gank alongside Aki, and he's just got nowhere else to go. A clean route from Aki, and that sets up first blood for Doinby. Completely zoned out of multiple XP and just not having the greatest game 3 against RNG, and it really put FPX behind. This time, it did come at the cost of Doinby's ultimate, but Care is still doing a decent job of making sure not to fall too far behind. It does end up in Grubs going over to NIP, but FPX will trade the Dragon for it.
They are getting continual as well. So this Corki is going to be quite the threat to think moving through this game. Has opted into the tier, so get up nice and early. There are rumors as well of this new where you just tier, you go Essence Reaver in sort of C for you. Takes about the same amount of time, and it is a lot more expensive in terms of a build path to go for, but can hit very, very hard as we move later on. Regardless, not going to be the case this time around, as we'll get to see whether or not this tier and the Trinity Force that's likely going to come with it comes as a product of the turret. So Sejuani spending a significant amount of time just making sure that there is pressure down on the bot side, and this turret is.
It's not Sorrow playing through the bottom side of the map for FPX, but this was the game plan that got a lot of FPX's early gold leads in their series against RNG when it was Sorrow playing in jungle. So I think, just learning from the games and experiences that they had, Shadow is now implementing that straight away in this first game, trying to enable Jue and get him off the map so that he can start making plays, which is one of the big things that had FPX really given a lot of momentum in netting their first win of that series. I am okay holding it down on the 4 for a little bit if you need a chance to reset or something, because I want to be able to hear your voice. Oh, baby, we got to fight! And Shadow's gone. The bullet time just ripped that piggy to shreds. A solo cast until then, as Aki's now starting up the second rotation of Grubs. 4 have already been secure for himself. Shadow trying to lead the charge here. Leave might be the target. He's got a flash and a cleanse, already using the cleanse on one of them, but that means that he cannot escape until he barely flashes after escaping the Sejuani ultimate. Got another all-in from Shanji trying to lay down the pain on Sheer, but it just gets the flash out. And the rest of FPX, somehow, just the pressure of forcing Leave out of the pit means that they can at least deny 6 Grubs away from NIP. Sejuani ultimate doesn't look like it's going to be available in time for that unless they stall and do a good job of kind of jockeying around, waiting for this minion wave to be pushed in. Oh, Bot just sends it on to Leave. He knows he's got no sums, but he's got a solo mission. The rest of NIP collapsed before the rest of FPX could really assist. And that is not the ideal way of really punishing a summoner-less misfortune. There is completely forfeited. And now it's the second dragon of the game going over to NIP. Just checking. Doesn't look like Rude is back yet. We're just getting a status check on. Plates falling off. Karen Jue maybe thinking about a collapse here on the Doinby. Shadow also making the roam down towards the bottom side of the map. Aki at least is going to screen this Sejuani, and Doinby wants to turn it on. He recognizes that Care is a little too low on HP, and that burst damage from the Viego and the Aurora is just something you cannot disrespect. Jue is in trouble next as Aki just sends the Reset City all the way through the FPX Express. Bullet time is enough to take out Sejuani once again, and I fear NIP are just running away with this game.
Game mark. It is 6-0, 5-1 on Grubs. The Drakes are even, but that's all that FPX have so far.
My goodness. Rude, is it chalked? Is it
Maybe.
Just game over? It might be chalked.
Now, what I'm gonna say here, Arthur, is that there's a possibility. Hold on, I'll hold that thought. PP God.
No, he's on a ward. The CC chain. Shadow had no idea that he was in full vision, and this guy
Red
is
buff.
almost dead. Bullet time once again. That's the third time, Rude.
Solo el pico, man. Just the tip of the MF ulti statistic that was flown there. I do apologise that I don't quite know what it was, but PP God certainly making some tracks in the early stages of this matchup.
It's just giving flashbacks to the IG NIP series that we saw, where we didn't know what we were going to expect.
But he didn't get ulted, so, you know, that's fine in my book.
I don't know. I don't feel fine that I just got dunked by 30% of my HP by one combo from Aurora, but unfortunately that's just the state of the game right now.
May even have already happened, looking at the disparity that's beginning to open up between Arky and Shadow. So once they can just control the bot side jungle, make sure that the Dragon, the Atakan, is going to be theirs. Again, just meticulous gameplay, slowly but surely making their way through this game.
What's the polite way of saying this, Rude?
Jover?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. You know, it looks pretty signal for how things should play out. As FPX are trying to contest for this blue buff, and it might be ill-advised, as there's the Aurora ult, there's the bullet time, and FPX suddenly realize, oh yeah, that's right. This jungle quadrant does not belong to us anymore, and then it comes at the cost of Jue's life.
Through 5 in a hunt. Again, isn't it?
The internet gods have come to smite you, Rude, I fear. I'm just at a loss for words of any reason that FPX can come back in this game.
It's really tricky, right? And Atakan just snowballs so much more. Well, there's just so few opportunities to enter through bot, but they've lost ball.
They're going to look for the engage. PP God is the first one in. The bullet time looks so beautiful as the rest of FPX are forced to scatter, but wait a minute. They get the first reset for Aki, and now things are really going to be closed down for Shop. FPX just got no fuel left in the tank. It looked bright for 1 second when they got the first kill onto PP God, but the rest of the dominoes fell, and NIP sweep all 5.
And you'll be happy to sacrifice your Leona if you're going to get 5 kills and an Atakan as well. You know the game state's bad when Leave is ulting you in the opposite direction to his base, and it's just going from bad to worse here for FPX.
You deal with all of these threats trying to just slam their fist down all of FPX's throats.
Yeah, I mean, the short answer is that they don't deal with it, and the current process of this game is that they are just getting walked on.
It is so tough, and NIP are just doing their due diligence and knocking out structures one by one. Dwayme's gonna send it. Bullet time rips through the front line once again. Yeah. Good night, Sheer. And maybe they get one on a PP God as he tanks up a lot of turret damage. It's just not enough to get a kill back over to FPX for Mercy. This inhibitor will fall, and it looks like a teleport is coming in. As no, oh nope, that's the Otacon GAs. You know
so,
what?
The good news is that they're throwing right now just to get withdrawn because it will still be faster. However, somebody didn't quite get the memo, and Shadow did end up having to lose his life for it. So in a
and because we're both in alignment that this game is pretty much Jover, 10,000 gold advantage for NIP. I think it's a good time to just remind our lovely audience at home, you know, what is the significance of, you know, some of these players and their the intertwinement of their relationships. You know, we talked about a little bit before during the pre-show that Doinby did start with FPX, and
it's an elite club, a prestigious club to be a part of, and you know, one that FPX can hold, and the one that Doinby will do for them as another fight on this top side, looking to put the final nail in the coffin.
PP God leading the charge. Here comes the teleport. Doinby casting down between worlds on his former organization as the rest of NIP just stormed the base. Nothing can save FPX when NIP are at an all-time high. And Shadow, forced to flash, will escape certain death, but can't say the same about the impending Nexus that is now completely exposed to NIP. And this series is going off to a great start for all the NIP fans at home. GG, well played. They lead the series 1-0.
These were some of the best highlights from today's matchup. Which moment was your favorite? Let me know in the comment section below. This is OP, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.